Hello, everyone. I'm waiting for someone to pop in. How do I do this? It's been so long. Paul, request to go live with me. Instagram has changed this in the 8 years since I've used this service to go live with. There we are. Paul Staehle. How are you doing?
Other day, man.
So, according to your Instagram yesterday, you had a rough couple of days. What's going on? What's happening?
I'm doing all right now. I'm doing better. I hadn't slept in a few days and had a lot of shit going on. But I'm doing okay.
Uh, so who was this guy that gave that you gave access to and
Uh,
life insurance and all this stuff? What's happening?
no, he found the thing on there, but he's helpful. He speaks moderate English, which is good, but he a little bit too much on the stuff on there. All right, buddy? What's up? A little bit over more stuff than I anticipated him to put in there.
So you're okay.
Yeah, I'm fine, man. I didn't think he would do that much stuff over the whole thing, but I just was tired and I couldn't sleep. I hadn't slept in a few days, so that's all it was.
So because he wrote a very long post about antidepressants being left on the
Uh-huh.
side and all
No,
this stuff.
I'm not antidepressants. I have anti-anxiety
I'm
medication I
sorry.
take.
That's probably
I have generalized anxiety. I have anxiety medicine. So I take my anxiety medicine, which is basically a generic form of, I think, Valium, but it works to help with anxiety. It works out fine.
Did you figure out the whole insurance thing?
Insurance thing? No, they took care of that. They got it. There's nothing to worry about that whole situation either. I have travel insurance and I have the other stuff, and didn't need the insurance though because they waived everything, so it was fine.
All
I guess he
right. So you're
forgot about the fact that I'm a resident. Because I'm a resident, I don't have to pay anything anyway on that one particular place, so it didn't matter. So it didn't cost me anything. It was fine. No
are
medical
you
bill.
officially a Brazilian citizen? No.
Resident. I'm an
What
official
does that What does
resident.
that mean?
Same thing for an American green card holder, but in Brazil.
Okay. Um. So and I told you there are a lot of similarities between you and Josh going off. Uh. Uh. I don't want to say the rails. Going off grid. I'll say.
I've been up
Um.
here for a while, man.
Have you have you spoken to Josh recently?
No, I haven't talked to him in a long time. Jesus.
Okay.
What happened with him anyway?
Well, uh, you guys have just weird coincidence, I suppose. I told you last night that I kind of went in on this a little bit that um, Josh had his first death, and I can't believe I'm saying these words out loud, but here I am. Josh's first death was days before you went missing in the Amazon, if we all remember that.
Oh, the house
that es-
incident, yeah. The
that
floating house
esca-
incident. Yeah, that was a mess.
that escapade from years back when I was searching for you, and then just recently Josh died again, but he's alive,
What?
and
what happened with him? Where did he find him?
Well, eerily enough, he was found unresponsive in a Mexican hotel room. And according to whoever left that post on your feed last night, that you were found unresponsive in
I wasn't dead,
Brazil, which is very
obviously.
similar.
I wasn't dead, obviously. I just had to go get checked out because I guess he was concerned. But it wasn't that big of a deal. Like the whole thing happened. It wasn't that big of a situation. But I just needed to sleep a little bit. That's all. Just want
All right,
a little
but
bit of
you
rest. Nothing
they
normal.
checked you out in the hospital, and
Oh, it's fine. I just need to make sure I be more careful, I guess, on certain things. I mean, when I was younger, I would take like 6 Benadryls at a time just to be able to sleep. So, but it's not a big deal.
so you were wondering who Josh is. I see the comments. Josh Cedar is
Whoa,
someone
buddy.
who dated.
But
He dated
get that off
he
there.
dated Karine for a hot minute in between Yolanda from 90 Day Fiance and I think Amy Slayton. So, um, and actually, Josh and Karine did actually meet in person, unlike him and Yolanda
Yeah.
Weems.
All right, buddy.
Uh, so there was actually like an in person relationship there, and that's how Josh and Karine and Paul kind of knew each other. And he has more lives than a cat.
Yeah. You just peed on my mirror, buddy. My
Oh, I
cats are
thought you
going
were talking
through.
about me. I'm like,
No,
I'm like,
I have I got four male cats that are going through puberty. I need to get them get them neutered. But I guess he thinks the cat in the mirror is another male cat, so he just went up to it and just peed all over it. So
that's a really
wonderful.
unfortunate angle, Paul. We could see all your nose hairs there. Just
Oh
letting you
yeah,
know.
sorry.
I'm just being a
Sorry.
friend, man.
I'm sorry. No, I just dealing with that. Man, crap.
So
Oh well, I'll
what
deal with it in a minute.
what's happening in your life? Like what's going on? Like what you're still in Brazil?
Yep,
Like what's going on?
I
Like with
can't
the
leave.
with the kids?
I'm stuck here.
What
Um,
Wait, hold on. Before, why are you stuck in Brazil?
well, you see, I'd have to wait for if I leave now until residency gets cleared, then I have to reapply and do everything all over again. So I gotta wait. Originally, it was supposed to be because Karine is supposed to come here. Because when you're married, the Brazilian is supposed to come here once every 2 years, along with you every 2 years, or your child, or everything else. Or I'd have to be married to another Brazilian or get somebody else pregnant. So both of those are kind of crazy options. So it's just kind of got to get things squared away so my residency stays, how it is, and then I'll travel back. But like I said, Karine never came here and never remarried, and I uh, don't have any other kids currently. So
And how
I just
long
got to
have
get
you
that squared away.
been in Brazil?
Since December 28th of 2023, somewhere
So
around there.
about a year and a half, a
And
little bit over.
I was only in the United States for like 2 or 3 months before that, I think. I was in
So
the
the
U.S.
last
for a
time
few
you
months
were here,
and then
okay,
came
so
back.
better question. The last time you were here was when?
Shit. I was only going to be there for like a month, and then my passport and Brazilian documents got stolen. So then I got stuck until I had to get a new passport and everything. So I was there for God. I got there at the end of September. I was the end of September, and then I returned in December. So a couple months. It wasn't that long. So
So
longer than anticipated though. It was supposed to only be a month, and it ended up being like 2 or 3 months. I forget.
so what are you
October,
looking
November,
at?
December.
Like
Yeah,
how
pretty
long are
much.
you looking at to get back to the States, like to Kentucky?
That all depends on once I get my residency stuff all squared away, and then I'll come back there for a little bit. And I'm not going to stay a long time. I'll get there and take care of my stuff, square away, things, get my dogs and stuff taken care of, and all my other things, and deal with that. But I've actually, a lot of things have grown on me here quite a bit. So I like it here. I mean, it's a lot of things here I like better: the culture, the people, the I got to get the language down though. But other than that, I prefer a lot of things here.
So you plan on staying in Brazil, like for good?
like to at some point. I don't see why not. Especially everything going on how does the United States. People and culture there. Like I said, told you before. I mean, that's why, in my opinion, why it's unfortunate the suicide rate is so high and why the school shootings is so high is because how people treat everybody. It's just sad, man. It's really sad. Saw people snap. Like I said, when I was in KSR, I was locked up with the guy that did that Paducah shooting. And I asked him why he did it. And his answer surprised me, but he basically went through the same type of bullying that I went through as a kid, except where I self-isolated. And because what I do when I go through that stuff, I self-isolate. I'd eat my food in the bathroom, or I would, go, avoid school, or I would self-isolate and avoid the situation. He decided to take a more violent approach. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But I mean, that's why, like I said, every time I went to school, the counselor would wait for me at the door. And I didn't get why. She'd go through my backpack every single day. And she'd want to see, like, I'm going to have to get organized for the day. Well, I'd go there some days and say, hey, I don't got anything in my backpack today. I didn't bring anything. She's like, well, I just want to see your backpack anyway. I'm like, okay. Well, I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't, why she did that every single day? And then it finally clicked. They're like, yeah, we were all worried you'd come to school and we'd shoot everybody. I'm like, no, I would take my own life or take anybody else's life. But still, it was just like, what the hell? If that we were worried about that, why'd you bully me every single day? Why'd you pick on me every single day? If they were that concerned about that stuff, but it's like I would never do that. Never crossed my mind.
All right.
I just said I'll
So
take my
you're in
own life
Brazil.
over everything else.
You
Yep.
plan on staying in Brazil. Like what are you doing in Brazil for work? People are asking. So like, how are you keeping yourself occupied? I guess.
Well, a variety of things that I do. Most of all this stuff's on the internet. There's travel. There's some scouting. There's one thing we're scouting right now. God, there was one
Scouting for what?
TV.
Like baseball players? I don't
No,
understand.
like TV shows, man. No, one TV show. I'm not gonna say what it was, but they gave us a thing. I talked to the executive producer, and what he asked for was like damn near impossible. We actually finally found something. Finally. But it's just like what he asked me for, which is crazy because I had a bunch of really cool stuff that he could potentially film. There's the SGC is a lot of crazy stuff. They got the Elon Musk wants that mineral there. There's the weird dragon monster, whatever the hell it is, Easter Village. So I had a lot of cool stuff, but what they wanted was like an Indiana Jones type temple in the middle of the Amazon. So it's like we couldn't really find that. We found an underground. We had an underground place they could potentially do, and then we found a area that's ruins where the entire tribe was basically ran out by ants. Ants drove out the entire tribe. Currently, like one Japanese man apparently lives where the old ruins is now, but no one really talks about it. So I mean, it's not I couldn't really find like what the guy was looking for. So I mean, occasionally I try to find different things and look for things, but it's not always lucky, unfortunately.
All right. So you're just doing a hodgepodge of stuff in Brazil.
Oh yeah,
All
a
right.
bunch of random shit.
All right. What's going on with Ethan and Pierre? Like what because that's like the number one question.
That's a lot of shit going on with that, man. It's depressing. The whole thing of that's so sad, and it's a lot of things that's broke my heart. All that stuff going on. I mean, when the whole thing happened, I had full custody, and then when Karine tried to get custody from me, and things backfired, and I lost custody, it broke me, man. It broke me completely. I mean, I took care of my kids, I had everything for my kids, and it broke me down. I left. Screwed me up mentally quite a bit, and so my cousin, when she got full custody, what was bad was she completely cut off my parents as well as Karine and just like isolated them. So Karine had filed the petition to get her visitation back, and then she had filed petitions for
Because
adoption.
your cousins have the kids, right?
Right.
The same cousins that have had them for a while now.
Yeah, she's had them. God, I don't know. Shortly after, shortly after I, shortly after I had lost custody. She obtained custody, temporary, and went from there. But it was just a battle. It heartbroke me because my mom and dad were fighting. And they see my parents see the kids now. There's new laws in place, and my parents are able to see the kids, so that's great. But it was heartbreaking for me when I found out. When I left, my parents weren't allowed to see the kids anymore. That screwed me. That screwed my language. That messed me up pretty bad too. I found that out, and they had to fight along with Karine to get their ability to see the kids again. And it took almost 10, I think I think my mom said it was 10 months that my cousin wouldn't let her see the kids or something. I forget. I don't remember. It's been a while.
And these
Um,
are
Well,
cousins on on like your mother's
yeah.
side or your father's side?
No, my mom's side. My father's side has no involvement. Mother's side, that's it. She was pretty. My mom was like I said, that parents were pretty sad about it, and I felt bad for her.
I mean, so I mean, like it's kind of a blessing, though, that like at least the kids are in your family and not with like complete strangers, right?
Well, there's other
Would you
things,
rather
that
than be with
concerns
like
me.
just people that you've never heard of before?
Well, the only thing about that was the lawyer had told us if that was the situation, then reobtaining the kids would been a whole lot easier. But being that it's the situation that it is, it's more difficult. But like I said, I stepped out of the whole thing. I was heartbroken, so I just left it. Everybody attacking me and everything else, and after everything I had done, and so I was like, all right, I'm just. So I stepped out, and um, well, so I was the problem apparently. So I just left the situation, and then I find out my son's asking about me all the time. Where's dad at? Dad's in Brazil. I want to go. I want to go be in Brazil with daddy. And it's like that shit fucks up my heart, dude. Me and my son, he's same as me. He goes through same similar autistic stuff, and I find out he's asking me all the time, and he wants to come see his dad in Brazil, and I'm like, damn, that sucks. It's just
But don't you think
hurtful,
it might
man.
be better like that if you were here, like fighting for them? Like I mean, like if you were here, maybe you would have the opportunity, like to maybe see them once. I mean, I don't know how
Well,
like tight
the whole
the
thing with the residency thing here, I can't leave here until I get my stuff fixed. Otherwise, I have to start again from the ground up. So I don't want to do that. So I'm waiting right now to get that whole thing squared away. Why are you cats keep all going up the mirror, attacking the mirror, and peeing on the mirror? I don't understand. All right,
so
crazy cats.
the last time you've seen the boys was back in what 2022, 23.
I I had both of them. I had full custody of both children, and then we had a lawyer that said they were gonna because he had to switch and leave that they were probably gonna do a continuance and that'd be fine. So I was gonna have both kids with me at one point. And so my mom's like, "Oh, we'll take care of Ethan. You take Pierre with you." It's like, okay. So I took Pierre, went out, and then they still had the hearing. They had the hearing. They just literally threw another lawyer in at the last minute to do the hearing, and I was out of state when the whole thing happened. And then, the whole thing was just had me heartbroken and everything else. But I was actually, the whole month I was gone, I was actually on Norfolk Navy base. Some really, high level officials were helping me out, which God bless them. But then when the whole thing with all the posts and all the other stuff, I was like, I don't want to get these people any trouble or anything. So at that point, I went and met my parents and, handed Pierre over to them. And then I drove back. And it
Are
was,
you or Karine like uh giving money or like any type of child support or anything towards like the your kids or anything like that? Like
we had
is that
offered,
even
we
like
had both,
something that like is done? Like I know that that they're in your cousin's
yeah.
care and
We had, we
but do
had
you
offered,
support
yeah,
do you support them?
we had offered. I know Karine offered, I'd offered both, and now Karine's of course doing the child support. I think 1,000 something a month or something. I forget what it is. And
So Karine
she
has to
is. I
pay
mean,
$1,000 a month in child support to
right,
your
right,
cousins. And
correct.
how long has that been going on?
Oh, I'm trying to think. She says the last few. I think it's like January, February. I think it got finalized, and then it was the motion was filed previously, so then she's got to pay back like 6 or 7 months behind that
Retroactive.
and arrearage of college. Yeah, that. So she got to pay that as well. And buddy, please don't bite my arm. Please don't do that. Please don't do that, buddy. Um,
So Karini's on the hook for 1,000 a month, and
right,
like, you don't have to submit anything.
correct. She
What
wants no
what
child support from me. She
what
has no child support for me.
why
Just
is it that and again I'm just asking questions. Why is it that Karini has to pay the 1,000 and you don't have to give anything?
I don't know. I'm not a family court lawyer, and I'm not a deal in that system. But they have no interest of getting money from me. They only have interest in getting money from Karine. So I don't
Is
know.
it because you're in Brazil and you're in a different country, or
No,
could that be a possibility?
I'm still a Kentucky resident, and I'm part of the case now. So I mean, but they didn't have interest in that. So I don't know. I'd offered, so it's fine.
Okay, is that why Karini has like the newest GoFundMe now?
I
Or
would say it's
is
probably. what it is, most likely. I mean, and we had offered her before, but I mean, my cousin's doing really well off. She's got a really nice construction company, and they make I don't know how much money, but they have in like it's in Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, I think Indiana. I forget what all states she operates in, but their construction company does really good. Well, she wouldn't want anything we had offered. And that's why I was surprised. Then when they did the child support income, apparently, from when the whole thing I understood was they based it solely off of Karine's income, and they put because she's not a biological mother, they put her income as zero. So that's why Karine's child support rate is so high.
Okay. Um,
It's a
and
mess. I feel bad for her in that regard. I mean, Karine's doing a lot better for herself. She's working part time at UPS, and she's going to college, and she's doing a lot better than she used to do. So I'm proud of her in that aspect.
but you had just said about your cousins, like so, like in your opinion, like Ethan and Pierre being at your cousin's house, your cousins seem to sound successful. Do you believe that your cousins are giving your kids like a good life?
At this point, man, as long as my kids are healthy and they're fed and they're having, the best options they have, and my parents can see the kids, that's the main important things, which I mean, which all seems fine right now. Um, but it's gotten to my point when, like I said, my parents were restricted. I got really upset about that. I wasn't happy my parents being restricted from seeing the kids. My parents, especially my father, hadn't done anything wrong, and for him not to be allowed to see the kids previously, that had me upset. So
And
stop.
why was it taken away from your parents?
I don't know. They just cut off. That's why I said it didn't make any sense to me on that whole thing. They cut off my parents as well, and like I said, when she filed the thing, they filed the adoption petitions, but the adoption petitions weren't ever heard. So, which hurt my dad's feelings because I said, man, they were the last Staley's. There's just me, and then there was them, and there was no one else, and then they're trying to change the last name and everything else. That really hurt my dad's feelings
Wait,
quite a bit.
they so Ethan and Pierre are no longer Staley's.
No,
They've
no,
been
the adoption never got no adoption petitions never got heard. They never got heard. Nothing ever happened with them.
so they haven't been legally adopted by
No,
your cousins yet.
no, we still have full parental rights. They just have custody. That's it.
Okay.
That's
Are
why I
they
said
looking to
they.
adopt
Well,
the two
that's
boys?
how they reacted whenever they cut off Karine and my parents from singing, and then the action was the action was filed for them to the action was filed for for the visitations to be restored. That's when they replied with the adoption petitions, but nothing ever happened with it. My parents are able to see the kids now. Karine has visitation, but she's got to pay. I think she's got to pay like 400 a week or something for her visitation. She's got to pay for her
Wait, she has to pay.
visitation.
Wait, she has to pay 400 a week for
Uh-huh.
visitation on top of the 1,000 that she has to pay a month for child support.
Right.
That's $2,600 a month that she's paying. Then
Correct. Which is why the GoFundMe came into play. She's
I
working
mean,
UPS part time, man, and they did her a calculate. How they calculated her child support was they calculated her making one to two. I think it was $1 or $2 more an hour than she actually makes, and they calculated it as if she worked 40 hours a week, and they calculated my cousin's income is zero. So in the child support obligation, she got like the maximum they could possibly give her on that, which is over like slightly over 50% of her income, which is she's pregnant with her and everything else, and she's got her enough. I mean, I feel bad for her. I mean, she's doing good for
okay,
herself.
wait.
She's like so she's going to.
I don't. I don't. I don't want to sound like doubtful or anything, but I'm just trying to do math in my head.
Yeah.
And again, I don't have children, and I've never been through custody or family court or anything like that. So forgive me if this comes off the wrong way. But doesn't the family court like assess like your cousins, like their income and how much money
Nope.
they have?
Nope.
Like,
Nope. Zeroed it out because she's not a biological mother. Because she's not a biological parent, she don't have to calculate any of her income. So they found a loophole, and her lawyer found a loophole in that, I guess. So since only the biological mother and biological father's incomes can be calculated, so they didn't calculate me. I'm not even included in the child support, and my cousin's
but
not a
you're the
biological parent, so they
biological
didn't do his.
father.
I said, man, I'm not included in the child support thing. They only included Karine, and because she's not because how the law is written, it's a biological mother and biological father, And because she's not the biological mother, she won't have to give any of her income information. So all the money from her company isn't calculated. So basically, she's put in a zero income. And then Karine, of course, has her income, which they calculated at I think 40 hours and slightly more than what she actually makes, from my understanding. But and all that stuff's public records, I guess. Anyway, I don't know.
All right. And and again, like I haven't talked to you in a long time, and I certainly haven't talked to Karine. Um, what is Karine like? Is Karine? You said is she working at UPS? You said.
First, UPS part time. Her hours has gone down way a lot, from my understanding, and then she goes to college as well, JCC. So
Is she like I think the last time I heard anything about Karine, and again, like I after that whole thing 2 years ago, I kind of like stepped away. But is Karine still living like, in like that house, like but through the church or whatever she was living in, or whatever that was?
no, I mean I vacated. So once I vacated everything and I left, she had full access. She still has full access to all the marital assets. So the house, the car, everything she has access to. But she's been staying with I think the other person with everything. I don't know. It's my guess anyway, because of a certain medical situation. So, but
Was she still? Is
yeah,
she still doing like the cosmetology? Like I remember she was like doing like those makeup tutorials and stuff like that.
no. No, I don't think so. I think what she's doing right now, she's studying English and her like her for her languages and stuff. And then I don't know if she's going to study Spanish sign language or if she's going to go back in cosmetology or what she's going to do. But I know she was studying. I know she is studying English right now.
All right, let me fast forward a little bit. Okay, so clearly we just posted, pictures of me and 90 Day Fiance update of Karine very pregnant, uh, and she's with a new guy who seems to be like a little bit older, but there was a note that he had written to her saying that he's going to be there for her and the boys and blah 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 blah. Do you know anything about that situation?
I mean, as long as she remains faithful to him, he ain't gonna. I don't think he's gonna leave her or anything. It's just a matter of her being faithful to him and everything being okay. And she's been more faithful to him than anybody else she's ever been with. So props to him in that regard. But
But
I mean, he's got no criminal record. He's got
I
a
mean,
clean
she is
record. He worked at
pregnant,
a
right?
school.
Like those that I mean, like it's it doesn't look like she has like a pillow underneath to like her her blouse. I said blouse,
It is.
such an old
It is
person
what it
name.
is on that situation, man. It is. It is what it is. It
So,
is what it
do you
is.
think that she might not be pregnant?
I think we all kind of realize what's going on, man, with her, situation. Um, and you've seen what you've seen and everything else. So, um, I just think that the difficult thing for her right now is the fact that one, I think that the fact of that whole situation with her and the new individual, unfortunately, was what really withheld her from on this recent action because she had a recent thing to try to get the kids back and it failed.
What
She
was
had done all the CPS
what
stuff.
was that? What was the recent thing?
I think what happened was because she had done everything CPS had previously requested, and I'm assuming that because that she was going through the new situation with another life being involved and another individual being involved that she's known less than a year, that it concerned the courts to have her have three children working part time and being dependent on somebody else. So she needs to be independent of everybody, be independent on her own, independent of me, independent of him, independent of everybody and then before she could try to take on three children. That's a complicated mess. So that was their concerns in that regard. But she's like I said, she's doing good. She's doing good for herself. Just gotta get her
It doesn't
independence,
sound like
squared
she's
away.
doing that great, Paul. I'm not even like I'm not trying to be mean, but like it she's asking for a GoFundMe. She's paying $3,600 a month, 400 a week. Then the 1,000 for child support. She's working at UPS part time and going to school part time. It
Yeah,
she doesn't have her kids. It doesn't sound like she's doing great. Like you don't
she's
sound like you're
trying.
doing great. Neither of you
I'm
sound like you're
mentally
doing
fucked.
great.
I'm mentally screwed, man. I'm mentally really screwed up. So I'm not even gonna lie on that. I'm mentally screwed up right now. But in regards to her, I mean, she's doing better than she was. She don't drink anymore. She gave up alcohol. She's doing really good in school. She's kept this job for this long. She's been loyal to one guy for this long. I mean, she's making advancements in her life. I mean, she's doing improvements.
No,
All
that's
but
all
props to her in that
good. Like, I'm
regard.
happy she's in
Yeah.
school. Like, but it just sounds like she's really like weighed down. I couldn't
I mean, she's
imagine.
been fighting for the kids and everything. She realizes that she had made so many mistakes and everything else that happened, and that she wished she can go back and change things to where she could still have her children. And me, it broke me, man. Everything happened. The whole thing with the kids was in custody, and then the situation she's currently in, and the other thing, and everything else. It's like granted, I have an individual here that that's there for me and helps me out as best they can. What they got their life and things they got to do as well. But and her and Karine don't get along at all. But it's just
What
been
about what about Karine's family? Like, her dad, the cop. Like, I know you're still in Brazil. Like,
used to
are you
be.
still in Manaus? Like, are you close to like do you still have
I
any type of
live next.
relationship with?
I previously lived next to them, and then I had there was an apartment there that was going to be Karini's and everything else, and I lived next to them. I had to fight to get a lot of. I didn't get all my stuff back, but I got a decent amount of my stuff back. But then with the whole thing with the new, other things Karini's going through and the new stuff that she has and everything else, I thought it's just
Okay,
kind of
Paul. So,
awkward, so
okay, first
I
off,
pulled
Paul,
out.
you're giving me motion sickness. I feel like you're walking in circles. So,
Sorry, I
number
messed
one,
up.
but you keep saying like give details. Like, Korea's doing that. Like what?
I left the area where our family. One, it was awkward for the other person that I'm talking to, and two, the fact that everything going on with Karine in her life right now as well. It was awkward being right next door and seeing her family every single day. So, and now of
Is
course
her
Karine still
family
argues with her family
receptive
too.
towards you at all? Are you guys on the outs?
No, I mean we usually get along everything okay, but sometimes we have our ups and downs, and Karine argues with them also from time to time, but you know, um, I just felt it was just awkward for me. It was awkward for like I said, the individuals I talked to, and then everything else. That's why I decided to pull out. But I mean, Karine's got her situation going there. Karine owns a house that she's trying to deal with and stuff there and everything else. So there's some family feuds going on with Karine and stuff right now. Also, where like I got as much of the assets I could get from our marriage here, but a lot of the assets that Karine is fighting for, she's fighting her family for. It seems to be. So
If Karine
kind of a tough
has a
situation for
house,
her.
can't she sell it to like help her out with the money for the kids?
No, the family put the house in their name. So,
And
like I said,
like, okay, Karine's parents,
she's
like
fighting
they're,
everything.
Karine's dad, a big cop there, right? For many years, he's retired. Like,
Yeah.
he has no way of helping Karine with like any of this.
Financially, everything else, they did, I think, offer to like give her so much money, but it only came in to be like, even if they took whatever they could get and put together, it was like a drop in the bucket to what she's got to deal with right now. And like I said, man, I'm psychologically broken in a lot of ways. And her, like I said, I acknowledge she's doing a lot better, and everything else. But her family, they try to help too. And then, I mean, I'm limited to what I can do and everything else. And
And you guys are still married.
legally, yeah,
Well, yeah, you're not legally divorced, right?
right.
What's the plan with that? Like, do you think that like you and her might get back together? Because Paul, I know you, and I've known you for a long time since we've kind of both started out at the same time on this. Like, do you still think there's a place where you and her might get back together?
Me and her previously talked a lot about the kids and everything else, but stop fighting, you two. All right, stop fighting. Um, but in regards to that, man, she's got another individual she's talking to. She's got another life coming in the picture. I have an individual I'm talking to. So, I mean, we're trying to get that whole thing squared away. And of course, the individual I'm talking to wants the divorce to go through as well. And then of course, her stuff's tied to the marriage also, because Karini had a citizenship application, which she's dealing with right now, and her other stuff, immigration, she's trying to get squared away. And I'm surprised she hasn't got it taken care of yet. I'm surprised they haven't went ahead and approved it, got her squared away. But that's another reason why she came to Brazil to get my stuff squared away because she wants to get her stuff because her green card was stolen and they never issued a replacement. She requested for a travel document, travel to Brazil. They never issued it to her.
But
So
why?
she was afraid to
But
leave the
why would
country and
she
not be able to come
need to
back.
go to Brazil when like her kids are like the only reason why I would see her need to go to Brazil because of her parents, and I guess because you're there. But like, why would Karine need to go to Brazil now, especially with like the kids and all the money she's spending and this, that, and the other?
The reason would be to fix my stuff. I mean, she just has to come here for a day, go to the federal police, get my stuff squared away, and then I would be able to leave and return to the stateside and, be able to come back later and stuff. But like I said, either she needs to come here and fix that stuff, or either her, one of my kids, or I, remarry somebody, or I get somebody else pregnant, which the last two are not the best of options. So
Cody, can you
I'm
give me a
waiting for her.
Dramamine?
That sounds. I'm walking
You're
around.
making me dizzy. What
I'm
do you do?
sorry,
Are
man.
you walking
I'm
in
so stuck.
circles?
I'm psychological. I have four apartments here by myself. I'm alone on the top floor, and I
Okay,
got four
you're
apartments by
not
myself.
making
So
things better for yourself, Paul, when you say you have four apartments and you're getting lost in your four apartments, man.
wandering
Like what?
around,
Like, come on, man.
wandering around, wandering around. Yeah. Besides, I got a German Shepherd puppy and then four cats. So me and the animals, man.
Paul Staehle. You know, guys, fun fact: Paul Staehle was the first person I ever interviewed on Instagram Live.
Ah,
Eight, eight
that's
long
right.
years
I
ago.
was the one that got you approved when they had the new TLC executive and got you doing interviews again. That was
Yep,
me a
you
long time
sure did.
ago.
And here we are, full circle.
Funny, all over again.
Um, so it sounds like you're living in a nice place that's four apartments long
No, those four apartments are not nice, dude. The only reason why I'm here is it's the same place we used to live when we filmed the TV show. The apartments by
with
where
the
her family,
with the baby in
the,
the freezer.
yeah, yeah, that was actually over here in apartment 7. I was in this
Oh
one
my
here. It was
god.
in this apartment here, yeah. The magic 8 ball baby. Yes,
Oh
that was here.
my god. It's really full circle. Um. So to everybody else, well, and to me too, it seemed like Karine, that announcement that Karine's pregnant, and then you had some type of issue where this guy who speaks modern English found you unresponsive, blah blah blah, anxiety
Responding.
medicine.
I wasn't dead
Was
by any
that
means, obviously.
because of like Karine,
No,
or like what?
no. Dude, I just got a lot of shit going on psychologically, man. I'm just haven't been mentally well for a long time. And like I said, I'm not an aggressive person. I don't go attacking people when I get that. I self-isolate and I try to sleep. That's where henceforth I take generalized anxiety medication. I have very bad generalized anxiety. So, I'll take medication and try to calm that down so I can sleep. I've been up 2 or 3 days straight because my anxiety gets so bad. So occasionally I want to sleep. I want to relax. Unfortunately, some people get overreact on situations like that when, they come in not understanding when somebody just wants to freaking sleep, but it's whatever.
Well, let
It's fine.
me okay. Let me say this before I forget to say it. You seem like you're good in Brazil and you don't want to live in the States anymore, which is fine. That's your prerogative. But you've also said that you miss your boys and you want to see them. So which way is it? Like, wouldn't you rather be here with your boys than in Brazil? Like, I guess that's like the $64,000 question. Like, you, you know, I know that you care about your boys. I know that you want to see them, but yet and like, it's just not me saying it. It's pretty much everybody that you're in Brazil. And I know you're saying stuff about, residency or whatever, but residency or not, I would be on the first plane back to Lexington. So if
Louisville,
you're
man. It's
good with being
Louisville.
in Brazil for the rest of your life, like to me, and I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but it sounds like you already wrote the boys off.
No, read the bites off, man. It's a tough situation to make. And like I said, the individual that I talked to here, and she was involved in a very tragic domestic violence situation in her childhood that has left her with a lot of trauma. And a lot of good, influence things like, 'cause a good person, having a person that understands the situation too and everything else. But and what's better for my children, is, do I let them, have a mother and father as normal as possible, mother or father experience, and not deal with this drama and stuff, and try to let them have as normal life as possible, or do I want to jump in there, and add, possibly add to additional confusion, which option is less confusing to the children? And it's like the whole reason when I lost custody and everything else, that screwed me up mentally quite a bit and everything else. And then seeing them again and being like, "Oh, Daddy, let's go home together." It's like, we can't do that. Can't take you home, buddy. It's not going to happen.
So I think
And then what's the best
ultimately
thing for
you
them?
kind of, I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off, but ultimately I feel like, I think that you know that your kids are in a better position with your cousins than they'd be with you and Karine. Because, like, listen, and I'm going to be frank, what happened to my mom? She took her own life. She felt that she was a bad parent, and she knew that my grandparents could take better care of me than she could. So, and, you know, similarly, not that, S is a part of that, but like, do you feel like, well, you said that your cousins are successful.
Yeah,
Um,
they're
I
financially very
kind of
well
feel
off. They're
like you're
doing very
thinking
good.
like that they're going to give you a better, that they, and like, that's a great thing if they can give, if they can give your kids a better life than you can, so then they
Well,
would be in better hands.
right. Like I
Like, do
said, it's a
you
confusing.
agree with that?
I agree with they're in a better. I mean, but the financial situation they have going on is good and everything else. Where they're making, I don't know, they're making a a lot of money, and Karini's working part time and everything else and going to college, so it's a different financial
Okay,
situation
but
entirely with
like,
them.
okay, but Paul, like, going to school part time and working part time, going to college are things like that, like 18-year-olds do, not like mothers of two. And granted, like, there are plenty of mothers that go to school part time and raise their kids, but like, this is a very different situation from that. You know what I mean? It's great that Karine is going to school and furthering her education. I have nothing bad to say about that. It's great that she's working part time, but in this position that you guys have been in for many years now,
Agree,
it
yeah.
that's not really like, the silver lining.
Yeah, that's not good, man. It's like whenever we stopped filming for the TV show, it was supposed to be we get through this stuff and we would go back. But it's been going on for 3 years. We anticipated it'd be 6 months. It's been 3 years. So, it's still going on. It's a mess with everything. Yeah, I love my kids, man. I miss them terribly. I
I
do,
don't
but
I don't
what do I
think that
miss?
I absolutely believe that you love your kids. Like, I do. Like, and
The
again, I
wallpaper
don't
on my
have kids.
phone,
I'll
man.
never have that feeling. So I do believe that you do, but like, I just feel, and again, I'm not trying to be like mean. I'm just shooting from the hip. I just feel like, you know, both of you guys are like falling short, and I think maybe you're not falling short because you feel that like that Ethan and Pierre are in better hands with your cousins, and then maybe that. But if Karini's paying all this money a month and like another GoFundMe, I mean, like, y'all, it is like the umpteenth GoFundMe, and it just doesn't seem like it's ever gonna get better.
Yeah, it's a difficult time from the fun. I mean, in that aspect financially. I mean, for her, and everything. But like I said, I'm trying to determine, what's the best thing for me to do for my children and everything else. It's a tough situation. So that's what's left me confused. And I'm already depressed and going through my stuff here as well. But I mean, like I said, after I had full custody and they took full custody because of some stuff that was said that never actually happened.
Can you
And
elaborate
so I just kind of
on
broke.
that?
No, I really rather
Okay.
not. I really rather
Okay.
not on that.
Okay.
It's just the stuff that happened is that whole thing. That's part of the reason why I got psychologically got shook up. I mean, that's like I said, the there were some very high level government officials that were helping me at Norfolk Navy Base who work for Department of Homeland Security, and they're very high up, and they were very kind to me to allow me to have a place to stay and help me out where I had food, place to stay, and I was fine. I could have stayed there indefinitely, and I didn't. And I appreciate them and the service they do for our country, and I appreciate them allowing me to have time with my son as long as I was able to have with my son. But I was psychologically broken after that, man. That screwed me up pretty bad. So, I mean, having full custody and, dealing with two sons, we'd all three had before that, like a month before, we all had three had a really bad flu virus. And I begged my cousin, I begged my family, I need help. I'm definitely sick. The kids are sick. My mom was in the hospital. Can I get help? No one would help me. So I went through and it was me and the kids. I took care of everything, the vomiting, the diarrhea, everything, by myself with no help. And CPS, they were like, well, you did it. Most people would give up and everything else, but you actually pulled it off by yourself. I'm like, yeah, I appreciate that. It was hard, man. It was hard, man. For moms, stay-at-home moms to go through that stuff, man, that was difficult. It was hard. And all the other times, having the full custody. For 6 months, I had full custody of both kids. Up in the morning to the daycares, the school, schools and back, and all the meals, the baths, the food, the clothes, everything for 6 months. And to lose everything, man. Oh, damn.
When's the last time you spoke to them or like had like any type of correspondence with like the boys?
I'm not going to answer exactly on that, but like I said, I had heard a comment that somebody had said that he had asked where I was, and they had said Brazil, and he had responded, "I want to go be in Brazil with Daddy," and that hit me pretty hard too. Um,
I would imagine so. Yeah, like that would be heart wrenching. Yeah, I get it.
yeah, you go from having incidents, you're married, you got two kids, you lose everything, which is not the first time I lost. Well, the first time I've lost with being legally married. But I had a similar incident before that happened with the house thing happened, with the whole fire thing happened many years ago. And then this happened, so it's like, so I've been cautious. The other individual that I'm talking to now, they're very different than anybody and they're very private and everything else. And they understand me because a lot of the stuff we deal with psychologically
Like
similar. So
individual,
it's
like as
no,
like someone that you're dating or like who
yeah,
who's he like?
a romantic interest, yes.
Okay,
But,
are
you
they
know,
making you like? Do they make you feel better? Like, are you happy?
we both have a lot of psychological trauma we've been going through. And um in regards to like because usually me, I'm more of an anxious person, and the other person's more of an avoidant attachment and everything else, and we went back and forth a little bit, but now we're in a good understanding level and everything's going on, and we're both in a very happy place. Um and just like they talk about the whole thing, trying to help me decide what the best thing to do with the kids is. Are the kids in a good situation? Are they good? They safe? Should I not I don't do anything to interfere with any of that stuff. I want my kids to have the best possible life and the most normal possible life. I think that's important for them to have the most, normal they can have. So, trying to figure out, what I need to do at that point so they can do that without interfering, but, still care about them. So love them to death, miss them every day.
I don't think any, I think that, we all believe, I know, like, I know that, and I've known you for a long time and we've talked, we've had our ups and downs, lots of ups and lots of downs. But I know that, like, you care about your kids. It just, it doesn't show on paper. You know what I mean? Like, you could only, it's, I mean, if I was on a jury,
I get it.
I'm a little biased because I know you, but if I was on a jury, I would be like, oh, he don't care. He's in Brazil. He's not there fighting. Karine's paying all this money.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good for you on paper.
What are you guys doing? Huh? Oh, nuts. Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. It's like I said, it's a complicated situation, but like I said, I've been confusing the whole thing. What are you guys doing? Are you gay? Okay, well, whatever makes you happy. Um, but I don't know. It's been a long 3 years, man. Ups and downs and craziness. But like I said, Karine's made strong strides and on her stuff. She just needs to be independent, is all it is. It's her big thing. But she's not the same person she was when we met or when I left. Now she's a totally different person. So she's big into religion. She's big into faith. She doesn't drink anymore. She's doing really good in college. She's doing good at her job. So, you know, props to her in those
Do you
regards.
think that she's ready to be like a new mom again now?
I think she'll
Like, do
do
you
good.
think that I mean, like, she pregnant and she looks very pregnant and like, know,
I think at her current mental, I think previously at her previous mental state, it would been an issue and a problem. But I think at her current mental state, I think she'll do great. Now, at her current mental state, she's matured a lot. She's developed. She's overcome so many other psychological things, and she, like I said, really matured. So I think now, I think she'll do good with her new daughter. I really do. I think they'll
so
do
it's a
great.
girl.
Yep, it's a very exciting time. First daughter. Yeah.
And I'm sure that's hard for you because I'm sure that, well, I know you told me that you had wanted a girl years ago.
It was
So
surprised
I
me
know,
that she had an
uh,
IUD in place and everything, and they had to remove the IUD before they even got the pregnancy and everything done. And she'd known him less than a year, so that just kind of hit me kind of unexpectedly and everything. But you know,
no,
he,
I would
he's got a
imagine
good
it
record.
would, you know, uh,
He's got a clean criminal record. He has no criminal record. He works with autistic kids. So he works at the school for autistic kids and got a good record. So I mean, nothing bad about him can be said in that regard. So, as long as they stay faithful and she don't cheat and he don't get jealous and everything goes fine, and that's good for them, they'll be fine. And like I said, Karini's actually been loyal and faithful this long. The first time for anybody. So they have a they have a good opportunity, I think, to make something happen. So
on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you, Paul?
I'm neutral, man. I'm alive. I'm not dead.
Well, that sounds like it's a pretty low number, like a 1 or a 2.
I'm not. If I
Saying
was a
I'm
one
alive
or
really
two,
is
I,
like
I would
not
have. I
like
would
a.
already been dead, man. If I was already a one or two, I'd already been dead. But I'm still alive, and just kind of figuring things out one day at a time, and trying to understand the best things I need to do. Complicated, man. What's the best thing to do, and how I need to handle situations and everything else. It's been tough.
I, mm, I don't even know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Are you happy for Karine and this new guy?
If she's happy, I'm happy at this point, man.
Okay, so you're
She's happy
not.
with her stuff. No, she's
Uh,
happy.
does
I'm happy. Depends on her.
does Karine know about you and your new interests? Like, I mean, do you guys still talk all the time? Is it once in a while? Like,
Dude, I live right next to her family until I recently, started kind of relocating some stuff. Granted, the apartments are still there if Karine wants to use them. I still have the apartments over there by Karine's family's house if she wants to use those apartments. Because we don't know what's going to happen with her. Because if she is put up for deportation and deported, she has to have a place to go. What's going to happen? She hasn't gotten her extension. Her tenure hasn't got approved. Her citizenship hasn't got approved yet. And she hasn't got her extension, which her extension is normally issued by now. So then if that happens, then she'd have to go to federal court and I guess and deal with stuff trying to figure out because if she gets put up for that, then she has to fight for her Brazilian born children to be able to go with her. That's a whole nother that's federal court. That's not family court. It's a whole federal thing. It's a whole
this
different can of worms.
sounds like a mess that's never gonna like end.
Pretty
It's
much.
like the mess that never ends. Like that. Like that's the
Yeah,
song.
pretty much. So I just said I
Well,
left with
aren't
everything.
you tired? Like it's been 8 years of like mess. Ugh. Like you and Karini, it just been just a goddamn mess the whole fucking time, and that's the first time I cursed on this whole live. Like, so patting my own self, but it's been a mess. Like, aren't you tired?
I mean, man, obviously I am I'm tired of all the stuff going on. I really am. And I'm very sad about the stuff going on that I am. And confused, among other things. But, you have to two kids involved, and one that knows me very well and misses me, and trying to figure out, what, the best things for me to do is has been hard for me, just being honest, you know.
It's a very sad situation. I will, yeah, it's completely sad. Like, there, and it does, it never seems like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It just always is going to get like uglier, nastier, messier, and like I can't remember one time, Paul, when we've been friends over the course of since 2018, when like things were going great for y'all. Like I can't count on one finger when you were like, "Oh my God, John, everything's great, loving life." Like, it's just always been so negative. Like, do you want to live the rest of your life this way? I'm sure Karine doesn't.
No, man, by any
I mean,
means, no. Like I
I've
said,
told you this a million times.
she's got her life she's got going on with her stuff, which is great. I have an individual that I'm talking to here, so I mean, my whole single life has been crazy here, man. The individuals I talk to, other girls, and there's one I talk to in between the other girls break, and then just my dating life's a mess. It's very messy. But the main girl I talk to, she's
The
she gets it
main
though.
girl. How many girls you got on the Rolodex? Lord,
Uh,
Paul, right? You are not doing yourself any favors, man.
no, man, no. But she's, the main person that I'm with is she's smart and she gets it. So,
God, I wish there was
um,
alcohol in this. It's just soda. Like, I need like a shot.
God.
Paul,
But she's different than Karine though. She's not big into sex like Karine was. So that's good. I like that, be able to actually have a psychological connection, not deal with stuff that's always about physical intimacy. So that's another positive thing.
all right. I mean, thank you for being so candid and for answering the questions. And I mean, is there? I mean, it's been a minute since me and you have been live together. It's is there like anything you want to say like that we haven't touched on?
Let me get my other phone and see if anybody who's possibly watching this has sent me a message of something to bring up.
Oh Lord.
Let me get my cell phone because I'm on the Samsung right now. Let me get the iPhone. And if that person's watching, you can message the iPhone if there's anything you want me to say or do. Walk in there to the phone. Deals. Where is it? Second here. On the iPhone. The other Samsung. Where is the other iPhone?
Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Paul, while you're looking for that, I just need a moment.
Yeah, man, do what you gotta do. I'm trying to find this other phone. How is it? Oh, there it is. Found it. Okay. Uh, oh, moment. Let me see what they. Yep, they're watching. Let me see if there's anything they want said. Oh, oh,
Sorry about that. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so
okay. Haven't responded yet, but I have it there. A picture of my nose hairs. Okay. Picture of me talking to you. You're on gray screen, and it's the inside of my nose hairs.
Yeah, well, I told you about that, so I warned you. I mean, I could have been an asshole and let you keep doing that, but I was looking out.
Appreciate that. Uh, something else, but yep, I haven't responded to anything back yet. But no, like I said, she's doing better and everything else. Karine's doing better. I respect, but you know,
Paul, are you?
still
So
so
I'm
much up
looking at
here.
questions on my end. Um, Boy, Instagram Live has changed so much over the
Mm,
years. Uh, you are working there in Brazil, right? You have a litany of jobs.
I do social media and mostly things off the internet. Yeah.
Were there any questions that from your end that they wanted you to answer or whatever?
They haven't responded yet. Hey, look, I think they're set on the situation, but they haven't responded anything to say or anything else of that nature. But like I
And
said,
I
man,
do
it's just
accept your
been
apology for you making me go crazy looking for you for Labor Day from 2 years ago. I accept your
every
apology.
day. Oh, the only thing I was upset about was the incident I had with my mother. That whole situation with her, I guess, with you and her, I guess, had a falling out or something. I
No,
forget.
that's okay. It's you. You apologize. We're good. So is there anything else that like I want that I don't know.
Like I said, man, I mean, Brazil is a lot more loving, warming people. It's not like people that's constantly pushing people and attacking people and being negative people all the time.
I
Like I
know,
said,
but
you
Paul,
have
like your kids are always going to be here in Kentucky. Like you staying in Brazil. Like I said it earlier, it seems like you've written it off like it's like you've given up. And if you've given up, you've given up. It is what it is. And if they're in a better place because you and Karine can't give them a life that your cousins can, then that's then they're in a better place. Like but it's like you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, oh, I miss the kids, I want to do everything for them, but then say like I'm staying in Brazil forever at the same time because and I'm reading the comments. Most parents would be like would do anything they could to be even like remotely close to them, and I'm not trying to like downplay your feelings for them because obviously you're not going to say everything to the public right now. I mean, I probably wouldn't either. Um, but it's just how it looks.
I mean, like I said, man, I don't want to add more complications, everything going on. And Creanie has been bettering herself, and she's farther along the line than after everything happened with me. So I just left at that point. And then I honestly, I don't know at this point. I'm sad. I'm sad they constantly ask for me and they miss me and everything else. That's depressing to me. It really is. On the whole situation, maybe they want to come and return here one day on their own. I mean, it's really the kids' decision, what they want to do with their lives and where they want to go and what they want. So, that's really, I mean, they're entitled to what they want to do and what they want to do
I
with
mean,
their
can you
lives.
even send them like birthday cards or like anything? Like, can you do
Can't really,
that?
I mean, mailing things from here to the United States would be
I
kind of
mean,
an
you
issue. So,
can't mail like a birthday card from you to your mom that your mom can drop off at the like with the kids, like or something like that.
we've
Like just so like
had
you
difficulty
said
with
that
mailing
Pierre,
things.
and I know that you and Pierre had a bond. I
Well,
know
here,
that.
I'll tell you. I do have a gift for them. I have some presents here, which I got to mail back. If you want to see the gifts I got for them, I'll show you. I don't care.
Sure.
Okay, why not? I'll go down. I bought them some gifts. I can't give it to them. They won't know it's for me,
But
but there's things that I
can't
bought
you
for them.
mail the gifts to your mom, and when your mom sees them, she can give it to them?
Yep.
Like that
So,
doesn't seem like
yeah, some
a
Easter
big
stuff.
workaround.
Yeah, oh, this thing fell apart. Hold on. It's like an Easter egg. Hold on. Got like a SpongeBob backpack, but it has like an Easter egg in it. There's that. And then
That's
there's
super
like another thing
cute.
in here. And there's a thing here. I think it's this one. Another like smaller egg. It has like a little keychain in it. It's like a little Easter egg and stuff for that. And
Well,
there's some other
Paul,
like
that's
little SpongeBob
heartbreaking
things
that you
here.
have these. That Paul, that's heartbreaking
And
that you have these gifts there for your kids. Like like I look
the
at
other
what this one, and like
thing
it makes me sad. You know,
is in
and
here.
listen, I had a parent that I never heard from the time I was 5. So and a father, no less. and I'm not trying to go there, but I had, I didn't
Huh,
hear from one of my
here
parents.
it is.
One was dead, and I didn't hear from the other one.
And this is
Um,
the other thing that they were excited about. He wants really bad, like a little cars thing they like.
but
So,
Paul, what
um,
good are those gifts going to do there? Can't you even go on Amazon.com and like send? You know, I know people have
but
sent
no,
stuff
they
to my
don't. They
house
don't.
all the
The
time
particular
from
ones they don't
Amazon.
have. They don't have those items. We try to find those cars. Me and
Okay,
Mom did, and the
Paul,
United States
you're
didn't
not
have
going
it.
to tell me
So
that you can't go on Amazon.com and send stuff to your kids at your cousin's house or to your mom's house. Come on.
Brazil and the United States Amazons are different. They're different. So the particular types of like I went through all the different versions of the Cars toys, and you would think that Disney would sell the exact same model in both countries.
I know,
Apparently,
but
they
you have
don't.
to log on
So
to the American Amazon and like do it that way.
yeah, but that'd be the American versions of the toys. They don't have the Brazilian versions of the toys.
But your
Like the
kids are
different
Americans. And who cares if it's American or Brazilian? If it's Chinese or Guatemalan, who cares? It's a
because
toy.
my
It's a
son
thought.
when because my son wanted a particular toy and a certain specific one, and we tried to find the United States, couldn't find it, so I had to get the Brazil version, and then I have to mail that probably via DHL, probably the fastest route, and mail it, stateside. But
You're losing points to me right now, Paul. Like,
I can't.
ah.
There's a particular model of the toy that he does. He wants a particular model. We tried to find it. We looked online, and everything else. They didn't have it, so
Your
we
kids
I bought
are
it.
Americans. They've never lived in Brazil. Or
What are you
maybe
talking about? They were
Pierre
born in
lived in Brazil
Brazil.
for like, what, 5 minutes?
No, they live months here. What are you talking
Months.
about? They were born in Brazil.
Okay. How old was Pierre when you moved from Brazil to Kentucky?
Oh God. I forget how many months, and then we came back
Four,
for
five?
for
He don't remember it.
5 or 6, and then we
He
came
don't remember
back.
Brazil.
We came
He's an American.
back to Brazil. We came back to Brazil again when we had Ethan. Stayed again.
For how long?
Once again, that was a matter of months. Also,
You're
that he was
really
here because
you're really
the children
come on,
can't.
Paul.
For the first, it had to be over 3 months because they can't. Whatever the airline guidelines and for the Brazilian Airlines, whatever it is, they have to be at least several months old before they can fly. My understanding from what Karine told me previously. So we had to wait, and then with the documents and everything else. So it wasn't like we just came born and got right in the airplane and left. That didn't happen. We had to wait and get documents and everything else squared away.
My point, and I'm being really nice here because the old me would have eaten you alive by now. Uh, is that you can give your kids any toy and they would be appreciative. I got nothing my whole life.
I'm sorry to
And
hear
I
that.
was, and I
So,
turn. You want your kid to turn out like me?
my kids
You want this?
get everything. My
You
kids
want
get
this?
everything under the. My kids get everything under the sun, man. They get everything in the sun. They are spoiled. They
From
have everything
whom?
they possibly ever want.
From whom?
But he wanted a very specific toy, and that very specific toy they didn't have. So that's why they had it here and didn't have
But
it
you
there
can't
with the
talk to them.
very
So how do you know
specific.
that?
Someone else told me that talked to him that they show him pictures and they said he wanted a specific thing from the pictures. And we tried to find that specific toy in the United States on Amazon, Disney, everywhere. They didn't have it. And they tried to find a toy that was similar. And they got that for him. And he didn't like it. He wanted the other toy, the toy that was here. And then I finally found it. And when I found it, I got it. But the last two they had.
What toy is it? I want to buy it for him and send it to him from you. I
You're
will
not gonna
do
be able
that.
to find it. You're not gonna be able to find it. We tried to find it. I had to buy
I
one for
will
him.
listen. I have a lot of followers. I will find that toy and I will buy it from you to him. I will.
That's adorable.
Hand to God. May God strike me dead right now. Hand to
Yeah.
God. You let me know what that toy is. I will find it. The Brazilian
Well, like I
version,
said,
whatever. I will
well,
find it, and I will
or
send
the
it to
SpongeBob
them
things, and there
from
was the
you.
thing. Okay, the SpongeBob things and that little Cars thing I just showed you. Which the Cars thing, you think that'd be easy, but the little truck, specifically the semi truck that's in there, that particular size and model of that truck is different than what they have in the United States, which I don't understand why, but it is. You'd think it'd be the exact same thing. I mean, it's a Disney movie, it's a United States movie. You'd think it would be, but apparently not. Whatever.
When we get off the live, you text me the information. I will find it, and
Okay.
I will send it to. Give me the address, and it will be
Send to
from
my
Dad,
house.
not
Yeah,
from me.
send from my house or That's fine. Mom goes to my house every day and feeds the dogs. So God bless her. Every day she goes and feeds the dogs. Man,
The
that's my
dogs
dog.
where? The dogs at where? At your old place?
Yeah, Mom goes every day to feed the dogs. Every
Is
night
that
she
where
goes there and
Karine
feeds the dogs.
is again now?
No, Crinny's. Karine, like I said, man, she's trying. She's also trying to get independent. She's working on getting her own place, independent of everybody, where she has her own place, her own money, her own things, and she's fleeing into everybody. And that's the big thing. She's got to prove to the course is her independence, and that's it. But she's doing everything else good. She's doing the college. She's doing the work. She's not drinking anymore. She's not doing any of her bad habits. So she's improved drastically. I'm proud and happy for her. That I am. So that's what it is.
So your mom goes takes care of the dogs at
Anyway.
where no one lives, and the dogs are there by themselves in the
She
in
goes
that
there.
shed area
Oh,
where no
God, no. They
humans.
have a whole yard. No, 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 no. They have a whole yard. They have the whole yard. God, no. They have the whole yard, and then the shed area building is their private deluxe dog house. But they have the whole yard. They have the whole yard, and she goes there. She thinks she cooks them like ribs or steaks or something every single night, and then dog food and everything else. She takes really good care of them. She walks them every night and takes them around. But Mom lives like walking distance from the house. She drives there.
Okay,
But that house is very close to her house, so she just goes over there and does
Paul,
that.
again, you love these dogs, but yet you're gonna stay in Brazil, and like, why?
It was never the plan originally to stay here, man. Otherwise, I'd been
But
different with the
that's the
dogs. But
plan. You just said it. So like, why?
it wasn't originally. The original plan was I came here, get my document, and I'd fly back, deal with things, and then come back. But unfortunately, there's a delay. Either, like I said, either a spouse or one of my children come back, and that rectifies it, and I'm clear, or I have to have another baby here or another spouse here. So, it's a bit of a problem. So I
Paul.
have to wait.
So these dogs that you love are alone, and they rely on your mother, who cooks, and grant your mom who gives
Yep.
them ribs or
She
whatever
does it
when she goes
every
to see them. But
day. She goes to them
they're
every
alone
single
like
day.
23 out of 24 hours a day,
No, no, she's over there a couple hours every day.
22 hours. I, Paul, Paul. Oh my God.
I know. I already know.
Don't you think the dogs would be better off like with I I I don't know. Maybe it's best that the
No, we've already
kids
dealt
are.
with a crazy fan. We dealt with a crazy fan previously called Animal Control over there at the house. And Animal Control went there and realized that everything was fine. They left and they made a note to stop doing it because someone, apparently, one of the fans from the show, kept calling Animal Control constantly. They had to deal with that previously. But no, they've already verified that they're fine, they're taken care of, and everything's okay. They've already dealt with that whole mess.
I mean, I have my cats, and I can relate as a pet owner. Like I would never want my cats to be in the wild for. Oh man, Paul. I why hold on to the dogs if you know you're not going to come back here?
Because originally the plan was I was going to be here and get back.
But
It
that's
wasn't a plan I
not the
wasn't going to
plan
come originally.
anymore.
It's not anymore, no. Not the current moment, no. Unless things get fixed. If things get fixed soon, then I'd come back, take care of things, and then come back here and figure out what to do with it at that point. But like I said, I don't know what's going to happen at this point. What's going to be happening? Is Karine going to fly here at some point? Or am I going to is somebody else going to magically get pregnant? Am I going to get somebody else, another wife? I don't know. No idea. Not sure what's going to happen yet. That's squared away and that's all taken care of, and then come back and deal with that stuff.
I wish there was Jack in this. I really do.
Jack and Coke.
It would be wonderful right now. Uh, um, I this is gonna sound cold blooded. I don't know why you're hanging on to this stuff. You've given up on it. You're not coming back to the United States. You're staying in Brazil. I, I any questions from your friend on the phone that you need to look at?
Oh, let me go look. Oh, hold on. I have it upstairs in the living room. You walk back up there. Are you comfortable on the bed, buddy? Stretched out? I bet you are. Let me walk over there. Mm, the cleaners didn't come today. Damn. I thought the cleaners were going to come tonight. I guess they didn't come.
You're not having a great track record right now, Paul, because it looks like you're giving up on your boys, and it looks like you're giving up on your dogs. Like
Hold on.
you're batting like 0 for 2 at the moment.
No, I think the individual is just upset, but it's fine, and everything will be fine. Like I said, it's everything's gonna work out. I think in the long run with everything, but you know, just sad and depressed, and hope things work out for the best for everybody at this point. But in regards to Karine, I think that she's made strides. She's done a lot better. She's in a, she's got somebody that has no criminal record, and she's got a good, doing good with her college, and she's doing good with her work, and productive, I guess,
So
society
you
member.
feel like
Right?
Karini's
Yeah.
fit to be like a brand new mom again?
I think at this point she's in a better position than she was with our kids. I think she would be, in a better position to be able to take care of her daughter. Absolutely. She's not the same person she used to be. And I think when she gets her citizenship stuff squared away, I think she'll be all right. No, the stuff wasn't her fault and everything else. So hopefully it all kind of pans out and everything gets all right.
All right, I'm sick to my stomach. I'm gonna end this up. Is there anything else you want to say? Like, I want to thank you for again. I want to thank you for coming up and going live with me and being. You have been very candid, and I'll give you that. Uh, and it's a nice full circle moment for the both of us, as I haven't interviewed anybody live on IG in quite a while, and you were my first, so there's that. Trying to find some type of silver lining here, but is there? I mean, is there something? Is there one last caveat of wisdom you want to hand out to us that are watching?
I don't know, man.
Like, do you
Like I said,
regret? Do you regret anything?
man, when I had full custody and when like I said, the fact that I let her see the kids unsupervised, and that's another thing that mainly angered CPS and stuff when it came out, and shit that I did wrong. I could have been more focused in that regard and not, but she hadn't seen the kids in 6 weeks. 6 weeks she hadn't seen the kids. So I felt bad. So I let her see the kids unsupervised, which has caused me a lot of problems with the courts also, a lot of issues. And, a lot of things which I go back and change and still be with the kids and everything else, but I can't go back and do that. So now I got to determine what's better, what path is better so where the kids have their best option. Like I said, Karini's dealing with her stuff. I think she's got a good situation right now and she's doing okay, but it's a matter of you know her continuing to go on the right path. I think she'll be fine. She's got a good guy. She's got no criminal record. She's got her job. She's got her college. She's got all that stuff going straight. She's paying her taxes and doing all the other stuff she needs to do for the government stuff. So It's a matter for her to get her stuff to get cleared out and get her citizenship stuff taken care of, and you know, have her life and stuff as it is. I just got to figure my stuff out, which I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out. After my life was only about the kids and everything else, and when they got pulled, that was my life focus, man. Which is my kids. 6 months full custody. It was all kids, 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 and then just ripped away. So it's like, it was it. You know, and you find out somebody has a life with somebody else and has a new child and everything else, and it's just as long as they're happy, they're happy. It's all that matters. It's what it is.
All right. Um, text me the stuff about the toy because I really wanna make that happen for you and send that to Pierre. No, I'm not Paul on my eyesight. Like I want to get that, and it will be from you. I want
I
that
looked,
to
and I
happen.
looked, and I looked, and I looked for that toy in the United States on the internet, man. I couldn't find it. Could not find it. But I
Well,
found it here.
I didn't think I'd be able to find you in some island in the Amazon, but I did. So I'm pretty good at finding things. So
The
you
floating
text
house in the
me the
garage.
information, and I will find it, come hell or high water. And I want to do that for you. I want to do that for you and Pierre. Okay?
He's a good kid, man.
It'll
Pierre's a
make
real
him happy, and it'll
good
make
kid.
you happy.
Yeah, he's a good
And
kid. He's a good kid.
and yeah. Um, I don't want to keep this going. Thank you, Paul. It was nice seeing you, and text me the information, and that's it. Thank you guys for being here tonight, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.